We've got a very special guest joining the Inside Scoop from Little Rock, Arkansas. Four-star Auburn QB commitment Walker White joins the Inside Scoop. Walker is the number 10 rated QB in the country. The 6'3", 225-pound passer chose Auburn back in February over Clemson, Ole Miss, Baylor, and Arkansas. Be sure you are to follow Walker White on all social platforms as well. All right, let's welcome in Walker White to the show. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. I just got out of practice, so this is not like what I was wearing around, but I just got out of practice and just got home, so happy to be on. Thanks for having me.
It's all good. I appreciate your time. When you made your decision back in February, you chose Auburn over Clemson, Baylor, and Ole Miss. When did you know in your head that the Auburn Tigers were going to be the pick?
Yeah, so I visited Auburn January 16th, and then I went on to visit Baylor, Arkansas, and then Clemson. And I had great visits at each visit. And after my Clemson visit that night, I kind of was up to like around 1 a.m. just kind of sorting my thoughts because I knew I wanted to commit the following weekend. And so I was just up, and my brother called me, and he like helped me sort out my thoughts because I really loved the Clemson visit. Like, it was the best visit I could have been on. But at the end of the day, like, my heart was just for Auburn, and that's what I prayed for. You know, I just asked the Lord that he would give me a peace about a school, and that was Auburn. And I followed him I followed the call to Auburn, and ever since then, my decision has been certified and confirmed, and I've loved every second, getting to know the staff better and doing my job as a recruiter to get guys around me.
Now, we're going to talk about Coach Hugh Freeze in a minute, but I want to talk about Auburn OC Philip Montgomery and what's your relationship like with him? Because at the end of the day, that's the guy that you're going to spend the most one-on-one time with.
Yeah, so I got to know him around the summer going into my sophomore year. I was at a mega camp at Oklahoma, and he was the head coach at Tulsa at the time. And him and Coach Trahan came to watch the mega camp, and they offered me on the spot after that camp, and that was really special. So I ended up going to visit Tulsa, and I got to talk with Coach Montgomery and Trahan, and they loved me, and I really loved them. And they're great Christian guys, and Coach Montgomery is a great Christian dude with great morals, and I know that he has so much experience, obviously, being the OC for Baylor when he coached RG3. So him having so many different calibers of quarterbacks and very different style of play quarterback, like, I know that whatever like my style is and what he sees, he can conform, and he knows how to teach each quarterback. And so I'm just really excited to get under that staff and get developed, because that's one of the biggest things I know going into Auburn that I know I will be developed. And Coach Montgomery and I have a great relationship. You know, he's really easy to get along with, and he has a really good offense. We've gotten to go over it a lot over Zoom. And me and him just click really well, and I kind of understand the terminology really well, and I'm just very excited to get into it.
Who do you like to watch play the quarterback position? It could be a college athlete, it could be a pro QB, but I don't want to say model your game after, but who do you like to watch?
I love watching Josh Allen personally. My favorite team is the Cowboys, but the Bills are a close second, because I just think Josh Allen and I share a lot of the qualities he possesses, such as like his size and that he can run, and he's a great thrower. And I love watching him, and I model so much of what I do after him, and I love it. Love seeing how hard and how aggressive he plays.
I can see that a little bit. I see where you're coming from. Walker, you're active on social media, and I feel like your voice resonates among some of the other prospects out there in your class. Who are some guys that you are recruiting personally to come to join you at Auburn?
Yeah, I mean, that's a loaded question, but I mean, you can go from O-lineman, which is like Daniel Calhoun, Jaquan McCoy, Casey Poe, Jamison Riggs, like those guys, and Preston Taimua, and the tight ends like Carter Nelson, Caleb Odom, some of the receivers, Perry Thompson, Cam Coleman, TJ Moore, and the running backs. Like, I know we already have Jamarian Fat-Burnett, but I'm kind of wanting we're needing another guy as well, just to have that to secure that running back class. So Kevin Riley or Daniel Hill, like those guys would be huge. All those guys would be huge for our program.
Yeah, we'll see how you finish up. Maybe I'll nominate you for On3 Recruiter of the Year, depending on how you do, of course.
Yes, sir.
As a quarterback, how much we talked about some of the factors on why you chose Auburn, but you didn't mention NIL. So did that play into your decision? And if so, how much does NIL play into that?
Yeah. So I'm going to be very honest about how much this was talked about on my visit. And I only visited Auburn once before I committed. And on my visit, I'm pretty sure it came up once, and
Mm-hmm.
it was at the very end of the visit. And it wasn't even me. Like, we were watching football at the end of the visit, and we just kind of we were in a topic of just kind of talking. And my dad brings it up. He's like, "So let's say Walker comes to Auburn. When does NIL process start?" And they kind of just told us, like, it's after I sign my papers. And to be honest, like, my mind didn't even come across the NIL stage until, like, he said it. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't even really thought about it, because I was just really enjoying being with the staff and getting to know them so much. So, I mean, honestly, it wasn't much of a factor at all, because honestly, I know that I'm going to be taken care of wherever I go. So it was just really me trying to get to know the program of Auburn and the people and the coaches that I would be around. So it wasn't that much of a factor, just because I know that wherever I go, I'm going to be taken care of. Um, but you know, it was a very small topic on my visit.
All right, that's interesting. I like to hear what you have to say on that, but it does make sense. I mean, if you go and perform well, you feel like you'll be taken care of when it comes to NIL, correct?
For sure, yes, sir.
All right. Why do you believe in Hugh Freeze and the new staff at Auburn?
So if you look at Coach Freeze and everywhere he's been, you see that he's a winner. It doesn't matter what level or what sport it is, whether it's basketball, like he coached like high school basketball for a little bit, but high school football to Ole Miss to Liberty. I mean, everywhere he's been such a winner, and that has just been like the biggest thing that I've seen. He's made programs, and he's flipped them around and totally like brought them a new style of play. And when he was the head coach at Ole Miss, they were winning very few games, or hardly. I don't think they were winning any conference games before he came there. And then, like 2 years after that, they were winning 9 games conference. And it's just really impressive. And I love Coach Freeze's energy. Every time I've been to a practice, I've seen how much into it, like how into it he gets, and he's always coaching. And some head coaches kind of let their position coaches coach the players, but
Mm-hmm.
I love how Coach Freeze interacts with the players. And even when they were doing like this drill, and I was kind of standing back just watching, he comes back and he's like, okay, so this is what they're doing. They're keying on the safety. If he crashes, they're ripping it over the top. And I was like, okay, like this is cool. Like he's coaching me while like the other quarterbacks are going through a drill. So it's just very interesting. I feel like I click very well with him, and I just his vision is just so clear to all the prospects that if we can secure these next 2 classes, we can do very special things with the guys that we get around us and build on to what he will do for the next 2 years.
You are about to start your final season of high school football. You're practicing in the spring now, getting in shape for it. What are you working on when it comes to the quarterback position? What are you working on this offseason?
Feet, 100%. Everything I'm doing, I'm focusing on my feet. I'm focusing on my pocket movement, my initial drop to get the proper depth, my fluidity and my movement to get from my progression to progression,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing when to get out of the pocket and where to escape. Everything is so. I've learned very recently how important feet are, and I have been focusing on just the smaller details of that. And feet, like when you look at the quarterback position, they can't do anything when their feet aren't in the right place. And if I can master my feet and get them in the right place each play, most of the time there's going to be positive yards.
Yeah, get that foundation right and everything else just falls into place. Do you plan on taking any other visits this summer? And when will you be back at Auburn?
So I'm pretty sure I'm camping there June 9th. And I know I'm also going to go watch a fall camp practice. And then I'm also going to go to probably 2 games there. So I'll probably be at Auburn 4 to 5 more times before I get there, in January because I'm enrolling early after my first semester of my senior year.
Do you listen to other schools that might contact you to recruit you or want to bring you in on a summer visit?
I make it very clear to other schools that Auburn's my place and I'm not going anywhere else.
All right, there you have it. That's what Auburn fans wanted to hear. Walker White locked into the Auburn Tigers. Walker, thank you for joining us on the Inside Scoop. I know you just came from practice, so I really appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me, and remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.